Hi everyone, welcome to this video. I am Joseph Cyriac. Most of the people are very eager to get an interview call from the company that they have applied for. But once they get the interview call, they feel tensed about attending the job interview. That is because they don't have a clear understanding of the process of interview. So in this video, we will discuss about the process of interview, why it is structured so, and why you don't have to be tensed about attending a job interview. Those of you who have already attended interviews would realize that all interviews have a similar pattern, even though the questions for different roles would be different. Now, let us understand why all interviews have a similar pattern and how the candidate can benefit by understanding this. As the interview starts, the interviewer tries to help the candidate feel at ease. As part of this, the interview board allows enough time for the candidate to settle down before starting the interview. So as a candidate, you don't have to be in a hurry. You can take your own time to settle down. But it is always better to settle down as quickly as possible because it reflects your capacity to adjust to different environments and different situations. But there is no harm in taking some time to settle down. Don't be nervous about it. So once you have settled down, lean forward a little, look at the interviewer in the eyes and put up a pleasant smile. This conveys three things. Leaning forward a little shows that you are ready and your attention is focused on the interview panel. Looking at the eyes shows that you are confident and straightforward. Your pleasant smile shows that you are confident and interested to be here for the interview. All this happens within 30 seconds after you enter the interview room. By this time, greetings get exchanged, they offer you a seat, and you settle down in your seat. So don't rush through this phase. Do things at your comfortable pace because enough time has been factored in an interview for this. The second thing that the interviewers would do is to warm up the candidate. They would initially introduce themselves very briefly in one or two sentences, and then they may ask you very, very simple questions like, how did you come to know about this vacancy? Or did you find it difficult to locate this place? You should remember that these very, very simple questions are purposefully asked to just warm you up. They want you to start speaking. Initially, they introduced themselves and they started the conversation. Now they want you to start speaking without fear because they know that you will be nervous. And that is why they ask you such simple questions which do not have wrong answers because whatever you say is right. So that way they are just warming you up and getting you into the talkative mode. And you should remember that these questions are not intended to check your knowledge, skill, or attitude. And you will have to answer these questions very briefly in just one sentence. After this, the interviewers would like to make the candidate speak more. And so they go into the next stage. Start on a good note. Why? Because they want the candidate to speak more. When will the candidate speak more? When his confidence is high. So what do the interviewers do to boost your confidence? They will ask you one or two questions for which you would have definitely prepared the answers. It is at this stage that the most famous question is asked. Say something about yourself. Everybody knows that each candidate would have definitely anticipated this question and would have definitely prepared an answer for this. So when you are asked the same question that you have prepared so well, you become confident and you start speaking well. So what is the primary purpose of asking this question? It is to remove your starting trouble and to get you start speaking. When you have answered that question, you have already covered about 6 minutes into the interview. If the time allotted for your interview is 30 minutes or less, then the interviewers would now go straight into the functional aspects of the interview, where they will check your suitability for the job. But if the time allotted for the interview is more than 30 minutes, they may ask you one more general question which any candidate would be able to answer very easily. You should not become overconfident at this stage just because you have answered well so far. That was purposefully designed that way, and interviewers started with very easy subjects to talk about just because they wanted you to get into the talkative mode and start expressing your ideas freely. So what happens at this stage is that you will start becoming more confident and you will start speaking more, and you will give out a lot of information intentionally and unintentionally. The information that you have given unintentionally will be useful in confirming and correlating with the information that you have given intentionally. And this will be very useful in the decision-making process that happens after the interview is over. So to sum up, till now, the candidate has been made to feel at ease, has been warmed up, and has been made to start on a good note. So the candidate has started feeling confident and the candidate has started speaking up. Now it's time for the interviewers to ask you functional questions which determine your suitability for the job. Now they will start asking you questions and they will listen to you very patiently. But does this mean that they will patiently listen to whatever you say? No. If you are giving the right information, they will patiently listen to whatever you say. But at any point of time when they feel that you are deviating from the topic, they will gently but firmly bring you back to the topic. So at any point of time, if the interviewer is patiently listening to what you are saying, you can be quite confident that you are on track. You are giving them exactly the information that they are looking for. But at any point of time, if they interrupt, it means that you are deviating from the point and they are politely telling you, we don't need this information, please stick to the point. This happens to many candidates who unintentionally drift away from the topic, and to a few candidates who feel that they are smart enough to hijack the interview. So what do you mean by hijacking an interview? It is taking the interview in the direction that you want to. I'll explain that with a small example. Suppose a candidate is being interviewed for a HR generalist position and he is asked a question, can you please explain how payroll processing works in your organization? This candidate actually does not have an in-depth knowledge of payroll processing. He just has a peripheral knowledge. So what he will do is, he will start with payroll processing and then move into some other subject which he can speak well. So he will say, our company uses a payroll software which automatically does the payroll processing, and the input for that is given from the biometric attendance capturing system. So this is all that he knows about payroll processing. Then he would say, but the biometric attendance capturing system has its own problems. It does not capture the attendance in many cases and people come to me with grievances. I look at the grievances of each person, check their claims, connect with the concerned persons and get their problems rectified. So what he has done is, he started with payroll processing and then moved into grievance redressal, which he is familiar with. So this is what we call hijacking an interview. But the interviewers are much more experienced and smarter than the candidate. So they will definitely stop the candidate and tell him very politely that this is not what we have asked for. When you stray away from the topic, you are giving an impression that you are not focused. So always look at the interviewers for clues. At any point of time, if you feel that they are not interested, examine yourself whether you are on the topic or not. If you are away from the topic, quickly come back to the topic before they ask you to do so. So I hope that this information has been useful to you, and if you feel that this information will be useful to somebody else also, please share it to them so that they can also benefit.